Morning guys, welcome back to another vid. As the thumbnail states, I've got some bloody bad news for you, but I'm not going to start the movie with negativity. Anyway, today I'm going to do something that everybody can do, alrighty? I'm going to run through it, I'm going to explain it with you. It's something you can come out with the family, catch some fish, have an absolute ball doing it. I'm going to take you to some really nice places today, and they're very accessible, all right? Very safe to get to, very easy. You can do it in a boat this size, which is a 4.29 metre boat. So that's what we're going to do. So this morning, we're going to chase tuskies in the shallows, right? In like 2 metres of water, and they go so bloody hard, it's crazy sometimes. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. Right now, I'm just going in and off the reef, right? What you want to do is, I'm going to find the edge of the reef here. You want to cruise along it like this, and then you're going to start to see bits of coral and bits of rock and then bits of sand, all right? That's what you want to find. You want to find an edge there. You want to come up on that edge. That's a little bit too rocky there. You're going to start cruising off the edge, and you'll see it'll go from about 2 metres. See, down, start dropping down there, and you'll start to see it turn to sand and mud. And then you'll see little bits of coral on your left and right on your side scan like so. That's what you want to be seeing, guys, all right? You don't want it like hardcore coral, or else you're just going to get snagged every bloody time and lose a lot of gear. And when a fish comes and gets you, you're going to get busted off big time. You just want it to be a bit sandy and a bit rocky and a bit corally, okay? And that's where the fish are going to sit, grazing through there. We've dove through this area quite a bit in winter, and we see how the fish act and where they cruise. And this little area right there, that's a spot that to me looks really good. So I'm going to mark that. All right, I don't have any marks in this sounder, so I'm just flying by eye. And that's what we're going to do, alrighty? Like I said, then we're going to go to a few areas up here. I'll show you on Google Earth what it looks like. It's absolutely stunning. We're going to go up through there and have a look. We're going to see if we can see some squid, sight cast some big flathead. Just try a few different things that everybody can do today. One of the things I'm doing right now is in my childhood with my dad's, like one of my favourite things to do ever, hey, is come out here, chase tuskies in the shallows. Awesome fun. Dad, if you're watching this, don't go soft on me, mate, all right? Harden up. Anyway, let's spot lock on one of this spot here, if I can get on it, and see if we can catch a fish, eh? Not a repeat of last week. So at the moment, if you're watching the vids, I am doing this weekly. So what you're seeing, I filmed that week, all right? So last week you would have seen I caught absolutely nothing offshore, which sucked, but that was last week, okay? Today is the week after, so you're watching all pretty much live. Just about to get on this spot and spot lock on him. Mate, spot lock is the absolute bomb. This looks like a good spot to me. And we are anchored. Best bloody investment you can ever do on your boat. Look at that. Oh, got me little mate here today. Little Bunjo, look, he's growing up, aren't you? Hey, can we say hello? Say hello. Say hello in your little wetsuit, look here. It's actually chilly here this morning, and it's not summer, it's spring. Yeah, it's spring. November, spring. Anyway, we're on the start of a run-out tide, okay? We've got a low tide at about 9:30, and it's actually just starting to run out now. So we've got a low tide at 9:30, and right now it's about 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm pretty sure, and the sun's like so high up, it's not funny. Mako GTs, thanks for coming. Rightio, one quick thing is run-out tides, your tides. What's my favourite tide? I like a run-out tide, okay? For some fish, I like run-in. For most fish, I like run out. Barra, jacks, flathead. What happens is when it's a high tide, if you're in the mangroves and creeks, all the water's up in the mangroves, the fish are all hiding up there, right? As the tide drops, it's all got to come out. The bait, the fish, everything has to come out, and that's when you can start smacking them. Same thing with tuskies, okay? In the shallows is at a high tide, you got the reef there. They're going to want to get up on that reef and feed and forage through all of the coral that's half out of the water, right? The reason I know that is because, once again, we dive at high tide, and I see all the fish up through that coral. What happens is as the tide drops, it all has to come off that reef into the deeper water, and that's where you're waiting with your baits, okay? So I find a run-out tide is always the best. Now, I always say this stuff to yous, but I end up catching bugger all. So let's see if we can put a little feed together, hey? This is always my favourite thing to do. I love it. It's great fun with the kids, and hopefully I can show you why. So let's get some baits in the water, and then I've got to have a serious chat with you. All right, so while I'm waiting here for my bait to defrost because I forgot to put it in the water. Oi, get out of that. Oi, I can see what you're doing. Oh, like I was saying, I do have some really crap news. So you would have seen a little while ago, about a year ago, we bought an 80 series Land Cruiser and we did a full build on it, and it was awesome. Like, the thing is absolutely mint. It's Sarah's pride and joy. We spent a lot of time, a lot of money on it. We did nothing to the motor or anything like that, but just fully did up the body and the lift, and it's just such a tidy old cruiser. Long story sort of short is, nearly 2 years ago I seen that cruiser at Servo, right? I approached the elderly people that owned it. It still had curtains in it, and I mean, it was primo. So that is a beautiful old 80 you guys have got there. He said, thanks, we're thinking about selling it soon. And I said, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I said, look, here's my number, save it. If you want to sell it, I'll give you whatever you want for it. So he said, okay, no worries. 8-9 months later, we hadn't heard anything. So this gold one popped up, and I'll put photos all up here. This gold one popped up for 30 grand. And we jumped on it straight away because it was super tidy too. 3 weeks after we bought the gold one, the elderly people that owned the silver, the bluey silver one, called us back and said, we're going to sell our 80 now. Are you still interested? I was like, oh mate, we already bought one. He said, well look, if you don't want it, I'm trading it into Toyota for $20,000. I said, mate, you'll get more than $20,000 for it. He said, no, we can't be bothered with any of that. We just want to have it gone, and that's it. And I said, well, let me come and have a look at it. So I said to Sarah, mate, that's silver one's back up for sale. So I went and had a look at it, and it was just, you just couldn't say no to it. Like, it was so tidy. So anyway, I ended up buying that one, right? We had two 80s. I said to Sez, you got 4 weeks to choose which one you want to keep. In the gold one, the windows were real slow, felt like they were starting to die a bit. There's a couple of things in the interior. Just the silver one was just tidier. I got all the compressions checked on both cars. They both had good compressions. So anyway, we just end up going with the silver one. It's been amazing. We've taken it up to North Queensland and everything on that Cruising the Basics series. Anyway, a couple of days ago, I took my daughter in the 80 to a sleepover. I was coming back, then I didn't notice anything. Then the next day, Sez said, oh, have you noticed like a tick in the motor? And we're like, oh, I said, no, I haven't. She goes, I'll have to show you when we get home. Anyway, she showed me, and it's like the motor's running, and I'll put the noise here, what it was making. And it was just like tick, 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 tick. You can hear that noise there. So we called a mechanic, and we called a diesel specialist. I'm not going to name any businesses through here because it's nobody's fault, and I don't want anyone making assumptions that it was anybody's fault or gave us false information. But they said it sounds like injectors, and we agreed. You know, we did research into it. Oh yeah, it sounds like injectors. They said it's fine to drive down here to get checked out and everything. So yeah, anyway, it stayed with our mechanic for a bit, and he said, look, I haven't got time, you're gonna have to take it here. So we come picked it up from him, and then it was hard to start, and we drove it to the diesel specialist. And on the way to the diesel specialist, I was driving it on the highway, Sarah was behind me, and the ticking noise was still there, tick, 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 but it was starting to run rough, and I thought, oh, it's gotta be injectors because it's starting to run rough, you know, like it's getting the wrong amount of fuel. Anyway, it went from tick, 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 tick to going like this. I gotta try and make the noise. It's like tick, 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 like that. And I was like, whoa, and then it just stalled out on me. And I pulled over on the side of the highway, and I was like, said to Sez, it just made a real bad noise, and it's not starting. And so we pulled over. I waited 10 or 15 minutes. I tried to start it again. It was like, almost like it had a flat battery, but it didn't. And then anyway, it kicked, and it was like making that bad noise. Anyway, well, like I said, that is not good at all. So from there, we took it to the diesel specialist, and they went to test the injectors through the glow plugs. And he said, called Sarah back, and he said, mate, I haven't got very good news for you. He says, not your injectors. One of your cylinders has got a compression of 250. So they're all like 370, 350, 355, and one of the cylinders is 250. Bungie, that is not your prawn. So it is now with a engine specialist, and he said that we have blown the motor in the 80. Well, we haven't. The motor has blown in the 80. which is devastating. We've done nothing to the motor. It's been looked after. Before us, it was a one owner for 32 years. It was purchased in Cleveland. It was serviced its whole life. And we are like Devo, eh? It's just sitting, baking in the sun at the mechanics. They're saying it's between 8 grand, best case 8 grand, and could be 15 or even upwards of $15,000. No insurance covers it, no nothing. And that's awesome leading into Christmas. So yeah, it's the money. It's definitely the money that hurts real bad because we didn't need that right now. But it's also the fact that like we love that 80, and so do so many of you. Like you don't understand how many comments or how many people send us photos of it parked up in the street, and yeah, to think it's just like dead at the moment sucks. So if anyone's got any advice, it is in with someone getting checked out now. But he said to me, it sounds to me, he said that first one doesn't sound like a big end bearing or anything, but then we filmed it underneath the car. I'll show you this noise. And then he said to us, that sounds like it could be a big end. I'm getting bites. So we don't know if it's like grabbed a ring and it scored the bore or the piston. I'm just watching my dog try and steal my prawns. Look, at least he likes seafood. Yeah, so we don't know if it's that or if it like a big end has let go. And I've never had a motor blow up before. And it's the worst feeling, honestly. Like it's just shit. We just found this all out yesterday properly. So yeah, we don't really know. If anyone's got any advice, we're not looking for sympathy, not looking for anything like that, but advice would be good. If you've had, it's a 1HDT motor, 93 model. You couldn't have picked a bloody better car, eh? Like, honestly, I did all our research, I did all our checks. It was a one owner, it's always been serviced, doesn't use an ounce of oil. It blows a bit of smoke, but it has been using a bit of water lately. So that's the one thing we're thinking, like, has it got a cracked head and done the piston? So anyway, yeah, I told you I had bad news, and for us, that's like really shit news. I know there's a lot worse news out there and people go through shit, but yeah, a blown motor right before Christmas, that's crap. We're starting to GoFundMe, so I'm joking, we would never do that. I'm not looking for sympathy, I'm looking for advice. If you can leave a comment, if you've had the same issue or same thing or might know what it is, if you know someone who's really good with engines, if you just some advice, guys, yeah, because this has never happened to us before. We'll sort it out. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, it is pretty, like it's on our minds a lot at the moment. So I just went and seen the car yesterday. It's just sitting there in the sun. Anyway, let's get back to some fishing and hopefully we can turn a shitty day yesterday into a fun, good mental health day today. All right, so far my plan is not going to plan. The wind's gonna bugger me up big time today. What I wanted to do after this and show you, it has to be glass out or very close to a glass out. And it is far from a glass out. Like I'm protected behind the reef over here from this easterly, but as soon as I get out around the tip of this northern tip of this island, it'll be crap. I'm just fishing up along this northwestern side of the reef just to stay out of the wind. It's not the preferred area I'd like to fish here, but fish will hold all the way around here. Yeah, let's pray for it to glass out, because if not, I'm sort of stuck up here. I could hook way up along the channel, the deep channel, and try chase some big ones, but it's a bit hard because I'm trying to show you guys, you know, what you can do with the kids and stuff like that, because the kids can catch these. It's a bit hard for a kid to catch big tuskies and stuff like that. Please, God, bring on the glass out. We got the moon tipping the fish out. We got a small tide today and we got nothing biting again at the moment. It's been about 40 minutes and I literally haven't got a touch. So yeah, next spot, a couple 100 meters along the reef, just like I said, I picked up a couple of fish on the sounder. It's not as reefy here. It's more sort of out on the sand. We're sitting in about 5.5 meters. So another crack. If not, keep moving. Give me some luck, big bungee. Give me some luck, my boy. I'm going to get another 15, 20 minutes, I reckon, and then I'm going to change up my plan. Start your adventure by winning this 4.29 metre Stacer Outlaw. Have a go at it, guys. literally just still haven't got a bite this morning, eh? I was talking to a mate yesterday who's a very good fisherman, good knowledgeable fisherman. He laughed. I told him about last week when I didn't get a bite all day, and he said, no fish November. So I know what he's talking about, because it can be change of season. It can really just, you know, you're going from winter to summer and you're not quite in the summer fish, but you're not quite in the winter fish. But still, you should be able to put something together. So let's keep battling along. I might end up changing because we're getting towards the bottom of the tide and this wind's not dying out, so I might go and get out of this wind a little bit more and fish a little bit deeper towards the bottom of the tide, and then the start of the run in, if it hasn't glassed out, then I'm really I really want to take you over and show you this area. It's beautiful. So and then we might come back here later, you know, and fish half tide leading up to the fall and just see if that makes any difference, because yeah, at the moment nothing. This fly buzzing around me is the most action I've had all morning. I may not be a smart man, but I know when I'm pushing shit uphill. Spot change. Rightio, we've gone a little bit more serious now. Now I did bring the big rod just in case, because if the shallow ones were shut down or not biting, exactly like they were, on my way to where I'm going to show you is up here, I'll have a go for some decent ones and see if they're chewing. Not having a win at the moment on the fishing front. It is what it is. I feel like a little bit like filming, I catch less. If I just go out to fish for fun and what I want to do without trying to create content, I seem to catch more, but it is what it is. It's hard doing it, yeah, that's for sure. Like I always say, but the fish are just a bonus. So we're going to give it a little bit here, see if we get a bite. If not, yeah, I'll keep moving. Come on. Come on. Oh, I know. I broke my own bloody rule here, but you can't come past this area without a little drop to see if you can snag a big fish. But anyway, I could feel it now. This wasn't my day again. Little update. I've been here for probably a bit over an hour now, and I have not got a bite. And apart from a 10 centimetre brim that I caught back at that first island, I literally haven't got a bite again, eh? I just spoke to Bordeaux, and another one of our mates, Reese, is out. He hasn't got anything either. I spoke to some guys that were here when I pulled up. I said, how'd you go? And they said, not a touch. So I don't know what's going on at the moment, to be honest with you. I'll pull the pin soon. I'm going to head up this way, and I'm going to have a cast for some squid for a little bit, just to see if there's any around. And then fingers crossed that this wind has dropped and I can go up into these fingers and give you a bit of a look up there. It's looking like it's looking like it's going to happen again. Oh my God. Spot change. Alrighty guys, we've come to a new area, and these are these little fingers that I was telling you about today. Look, honestly, it's not ideal, but it's still nice up here. So what these are is, I'll put an overlay photo here, okay? It's a great place to bring the kids, honestly. Your best time is on the bigger of the low tides, so on your neap tides, which means away from the moon, so between the full moons and the new moons. Whoa, did you see that behind me? Bait jumping everywhere. What you do, because you can get a bigger boat up here, you can get your smaller boats up here. It's beautiful, eh? Like, we bring the kids up here, there you can sight cast squid, there's huge flatties up here, there's whiting everywhere, there's stingrays like you wouldn't believe, starfish. It's awesome, it really is awesome, and it's a cool place to bring the kids, or just come up and run around on these sandbanks. I'll show you this. There's tons of weed banks all the way along here, right? And these weed banks hold squid and flatties. You can sit out there like this, and this is what I was saying about the run out tide, is all the flathead and all the fish and bait that are up on these sandbanks have to come out, and where do they hide? They hide on these weed banks here, alrighty? And I'm not talking about this crap floating in the water. I'm talking about these dark patches here. So we're just cruising along with the Minn Kota. I'm going to go upstream and I'm going to drift back along it. But you've got heaps of weed. You've got weed all out here in 4, 5, 6 meters. And at times you can get some really big squid and heaps of them, and flathead and stuff like that. So all you got to do is just have a go. We've got the bottom of the tide now and to start to run in, so I'm going to drift from north to south, and I'm just going to throw some shallow diving lures, I'll show you, like bombers and stuff like that, over this weed, see if we can pluck a big flatty. If not, I'll go around the corner and try and get right out of this wind. But that's what I'm saying, you really want to glass out and a big low tide, and you'll come up here and you'll message me and go, wow, it is unbelievable there. So let's have a little crack and see if we can pull something out of our hats. I think the Bundjalungi's getting bored. Rightio, so like I said, I'm just using this bomber, real shallow diver with 3 sets of trebles on it. And I'm just gonna flick him over this weed. It is actually a really good drift at the moment. And what I'm using for a rod is the kids' little Raiders. So we got these from Hot Tackle before we went on our WA trip. They are frigging awesome. I actually love them. They can stop some really big fish, and yeah, they just got a heap of balls and they're affordable. So these ones are the little Shimano Raiders, and then this is 5 to 8 kilo, this one, the Barra spin rod. Then we've got the Spheros 4000s, and it's just such a light little combo. Picking up bits of weed, which is annoying. If you come and do this, but one thing you really have to do is have a squid jig ready. I've got one on one of those other little Raiders ready, just in case a squid comes up, because you want to be ready for it, you know what I mean? Oh shit, got to tie a squid jig on. Just have one on a rod already to go, and at least if you come across one, which hopefully we will, you're ready to roll. This weed's gonna make it hard. You wouldn't believe what I caught. I threw a squid jig and I caught a miniature squid. That little fella can go back 100%. Oh my god. Dead set. I let him go and he inked me on the way out. Wanker. That's just a big, like, you, isn't it? I was like, I could use him as a live in, pin him and put him down at a spot out here, probably go alright. So I'll let him go. Alright, there's like a little bit of a drop off there, you see? You can see where it goes from sandy weed and then drops down nice and sharp. Surely there's something hanging off the edge of that. It's got like a suspending lure, this one, and like I said, with a real short bib, so it's not going to dive deep, because up there it's probably only knee deep and down here is about 1.5 meters. I'm just trying to pull that lure over the drop off and then just let it sit there, so if there's any flatties sitting off the deep edge of it, they might snap it up. But you can see what I mean by glass out, you know, usually you'll be able to see the squid and everything, like, it's awesome. But yeah, it's hard when it's not glassy. Get it right up there in the shallows. Sure, if there was a flatty there, you would have hit it. One more. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. No go. We'll keep moving along, but you get the gist, eh? Okie dokie, pulled up at another spot now. I've come out of one of those fingers. I'm having another little drop for a tusky, just for half an hour. See if anything bites. Nothing so far, but it must be like a bloody turtle haven here, eh? There's like turtles everywhere. As soon as I turn the camera on, they all go away. But literally there's like one there, and then one there, then one there, then one just here. Look, one over there, popping his head up. Another one there as I turn the camera back towards me. They're all really big turtles, eh? It's almost worth a little look around this area too and see what else is here. Probably got about 10 knots of breeze now, just enough to make the fishing lines do that whistling thing. My brother says it's the sound of the souls from all the fish we've killed. It's pretty funny. Anyway, mate, something has to be going on. That is a spot where I catch a lot of fish. Like, that's a go-to spot where I'm like, I just want to put a couple in the esky, and I did not get a bite again. I don't know, mate. Far out. It is so disheartening. You full start beating on yourself, eh? Like questioning everything you've done in your fishing life. Oh man, I don't know what to do, guys. It's such a pain in the ass when you come out and you try your ass off to catch some fish. Just make it interesting. Just one would be fine. I want to start heading back towards the island here. I'm going to have a quick troll for a squid, see if we can hook up, and then I'm going to have another drop, see if this incoming tide has made it a little bit better for the smaller tuskies in the shallows. Hopefully it has, but it'll be interesting to see. If not, this vid might go in the bin. For one, last week didn't get a bite the whole time offshore. Then we find out yesterday the 80 series motor has blown up. Look, come out today, catch a few fish, it'll all be good. And now honestly it's just pissed me off way more. I'm smiling, but I'm dying inside. Well guys, I'm going to save you from a few more mundane minutes of non-fish action and tell you right now, I didn't get a squid. I didn't see a squid didn't even come up and look at my bloody jig. Starting to wonder, is Bungie a jinx? Alright, doing a bit of a run back to the island here through a little spot called the D'Elba Passage. It's a great little shortcut area here through the oyster leases, but got to make sure if you come this way, you always don't go too close to the leases, or else you might get shot. Nah, kidding. They're pretty good, but it's a good little area you can get through. Even on a decent low tide like this, you can get through. There's a couple of bits when it's real low, you might have to slow down at, but not bad. You can see this tide rushing in now. Hey Budgie, are you ready for this, brother? I'm sorry, it's getting windy. I think I'm better off just bailing home now. Oh! The start of the trip wasn't too bad actually, semi-protected here and not much run from the tide, but as soon as I got around this northern beacon and I got into that wind and I got into the tide, it started to get a bit interesting. I know it doesn't look too bad here, but when you're in the boat going through it, you understand. Anyway, I was soon about to have that smile wiped off my face, because once I got in the paddock, it was bloody crap. I'll say it again, these little Stacers handle it bloody awesome. I'd love to think what a bigger one of this model would be capable of. It was nice to get around the corner and get back into a glass out. That's better. If you're not completely confident with driving boats onto trailers, this one is pretty bloody good. I'll show you why. Because, or if your body's not quite up to it anymore, make sure your keel is in the middle of that roller. Oop. You gotta like that, don't you? Now look, all honesty, this is how wet I got. I got wet from there down. The rest of me is completely dry. That's pretty good, because that was shit. Right, well, you know what guys? I was gonna go behind the island and I was gonna have a Hudson ginger beer because they are delicious. If you had one, you would know. If you haven't, you should try it. They're gluten-free ginger beer. Look at that, gluten-free. And they taste bloody amazing. I took 2 of them out with me and I didn't even have one because I was that busy trying to catch a fish. And I've got some curried sausages from last night Sarah cooked. Mate, like I always tell you, we're not a fishing channel. We try to be, but we're not. If you want some fish in action, here is a list of fishing channels that you can see some non-stop fishing action on, alrighty? Go check this mob out and you'll see fish in action. With us, you come for a beer, you come for a laugh, you just come for a bloody good time. But yeah, that was a pretty crap run home. Anyway guys, if you're not in the tinny giveaway, make sure you jump in the tinny giveaway, alrighty? There's not that many people in it at the moment, I'm telling you right now. I'm not pulling your leg. This is the best chance you will ever get to win a $25,000 boat. I crossed my heart. So if you're not in it, jump in it, all right? And then you can go out and catch bugger all and get smashed on the way home, just like I did. Anyway, back to the 80 series. I will keep you guys posted over the next couple of weeks what's happening with the 80, because like I said, I'm doing week to week right now. So when you're watching this, I would have just filmed this and edited it in the last few days, all right? So don't bother go fishing, all right, because there's no fish. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on the 80. If you have any advice for us, I would love to know what we should probably do. At the moment, we're looking at reconditioning the motor that's in it, and then hopefully it'll be like new and we keep it for a lot of years to come. But yeah, if you've had that and if you think it's better off to turf it, like do it up and sell it, or I don't bloody know. Oh, we didn't need that at the moment. So yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, sorry I didn't catch any fish. Had a good time. Hope you had a few laughs. I'm going to tuck into some curried sausages, and I'll see you next week. A massive, massive thank you to our legendary patrons. You guys are bloody awesome. We love ya more than you know. And to the legendary companies who sponsor our show and keep our line ticking along. Cheers, guys.